My name is Terrenz. I'm a 25-year-old second-generation Chinese American. I'm the oldest of two daughters, the first in my immediate family to go to college, as well as the oldest grandchild of a pretty large family. In general, I felt a lot of pressure growing up just to set the perfect example for my sister as well as my little cousins. I went away to college in Santa Barbara, and for the first 2 years I pursued a major in physics, thinking that that's what was going to please my family. And I just ended up falling into academic probation and grew really unhappy during that time. My relationship with my mother was also growing really tense because I grew angrier as a person, and there was a point where I realized that I just needed to do this for myself because I was really unhappy. I would go home and be someone that I'm not. Sophomore year, 2008, I decided to finally come out to my parents. I had drafted a coming out letter that basically said, I'm a great child, I love my family, and listed all the positives, hoping that they would overlook the fact that I was gay. So my plan was to present this letter to my parents Christmas Eve, thinking that, okay, the next day it's Christmas, and that there would be less tension because it was a happy holiday. I went home, and remember that Christmas Eve, my mother, my sister, and I were in the car, and we were on our way home from shopping, and I was freaking out at that point already, just because I knew as soon as we get home this was all going to go down. On our ride home, Avril Lavigne's Keep Holding On came on, and the first lines of the song are, "You're not alone." And I remember hearing those words and just started crying in the car. My sister started crying, so we're both crying, and my mom is in the driver's seat just freaking out. So I was just like, you know what, just wait till we get home. So we got home, and we were in my bedroom. I presented my mother with this letter. She read it, and then there was a long moment of silence, and she tore it up. And the only words I could remember from that moment were, "You're sick, there's something wrong with you, you need to put you in therapy, this is not right." And I was just crying. I didn't know what to say from that point on. I just didn't speak. I locked myself in the room, and the first thing I can think of is like, who can help me out of this situation? And so I called my aunt, and I remember leaving her a message. She didn't pick up, and all I said was, "I just told my parents I'm gay. I need your help. I don't know what to do." And I hung up. Shortly after, she returned the call, thought I was joking, reassured her that I wasn't, and that I needed her. I just needed someone to talk to. So winter break passed. I went back to Santa Barbara, which was great because there was distance and I didn't need to deal with the tension with my parents. About 4 months went by, and my grandfather had just passed away. I was in the middle of finals, and I just grew really stressed. And I remember emailing my aunt and saying, I'm really depressed, I don't like the way my relationship with my parents is right now. I was just expressing my stress, and a couple weeks later, my aunt coincidentally ran into my parents at my grandfather's grave, and she took the step to confront them there and basically address my issues for me. And my aunt is the youngest in her family of 6 kids. My dad is the oldest. So when she did that, there was a line that she crossed in terms of disrespecting her, her older brother. She basically questioned my mother's love for me because my mother couldn't accept me for who I was. And so that evening, my parents were not happy. They ended up getting in an argument, and my father ran away for the night to go fishing basically all night. I received a call from him that evening. It was the most unexpected call, but he called me and basically gave me his support. He said, "I support you, don't worry about your mother, she'll come around. I just wish you could have told your grandfather when he was still alive." And from that point on, it really meant a lot to me to not keep who I was from the people I love. At one of APEC Hobby's coming out workshops, there was an attendee who shared a quote that her mother had said to her: "I've held your hand, I've showed you how to walk, now it's your turn." And that just made me think about my process with my parents. I've reached the point where it's my turn to show my mother, as well as my father and the rest of my family, what my world is like. It gave my mother a chance to really understand that my relationship with my partner was just as normal as any other relationship out there. And throughout the years, that understanding really, her understanding of the community as well as me being gay, or me and my relationship with my partner, has definitely changed. I think one of the reasons why my parents are so accepting now is because they've been struggling financially. I've been able to step up and provide that financial support. So they kind of look past the fact that I'm gay, and in the end, family still is an important aspect of my life, and that's really all that matters. They know I love them, and it's been 6 years since I originally came out, and my entire family knows, even my grandparents. I don't regret any aspect of it. Actually, there's one thing I do regret, and I guess that's the biggest lesson I've learned throughout my coming out process, and that's being able to learn how to be patient with my parents, with my mother specifically. And I think because I wasn't patient, or I didn't understand that at the time, I said a lot of hurtful things to my parents that I probably shouldn't have, and I know they were hurtful. If there's anything you take away from the story, it's probably to just learn to be patient with my parents. I'm happier than I've ever been, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't go through those horrible moments. And it's every time I tell my story, I learn something new about myself, my family, and my situation, and it's really eye-opening. So, yeah.